Hey guys, RPM here. Hope you're doing well. Having another great day at this video. Well, actually, I don't think many people are having a great day, especially for those that have home miners such as the KD Box Pro, maybe the KD Box 2, as well as the KD Lights. Okay, I myself have two of these KD Lights, a KD Box Pro. I also have a KD Box 2, but I just gave that away. Congratulations to Mike, the miner, who won the KD Box 2 in a video a couple days ago. Congrats to you, man. But for those that have not been following Kadena, the reason why I just turned these off is because they are pretty much unprofitable now, because there is a big boy Kadena ASIC that has just been starting to ship out as of the past week or two here, and it has increased the network hash rate and difficulty of Kadena. So because the price of Kadena has not moved up at all, then that means it just doesn't make sense for me to run these right now. I was running these because I was needing heat for my new mining location and stuff here in my house, but since the temperatures have been rising up outside, I no longer need to run these anymore for heat. Anyways, I just wanted to talk with you guys about some other stuff, some food for thought, as well as go through the network hash rate for Kadena currently, and just look at some numbers regarding these, and of course the Bitmain KA3s, which are pretty much destroying the network and all of the home miners that have these types of little ASICs right now. So anyways, I'll see you guys in the computer. Before we begin, I'm just gonna preface with that this video is not gonna be a doom and gloom regarding Kadena mining and whatnot. I am going to talk about the future potential, but obviously that there's risks involved in, mining Kadena, and also, talking about the ASIC miners that are involved in this video. Thank you to also mindtheasic.com for sponsoring this video. We're going to go through some numbers here regarding the Kadena miners currently, and also the, future outlook potentially that could happen. But more so now, let me talk about, I guess, what everyone is more so involved in for those that have Kadena ASICs right now, especially not the KA3s, but the other Kadena ASICs, which I just talked about earlier and showed you guys that I just turned mine off because it's essentially not profitable, maybe a little bit break even, but it doesn't really make sense for me to mine those at, a huge loss or anything. But as I see it right now, the network hash rate, as you guys can see here, since the beginning of February, which the announcement of when they were being shipped out was announced around the end of January. Okay, so that's when you can see here correlates to February 5th. The rise of Kadena network hash rate here has gone from, let's see, around 209 petahash to what it is now, 290 petahash. So continues to climb here. And I'm going to say that it's probably going to get worse because it's not over yet. The shipments for these KA3s that you guys have probably seen on, on Twitter and on their website, they've also been announcing like a sale, a spot sale of the KA3s for these, like $6,300 per unit. And on Twitter, they're saying like the KA3 was sold out in 14 seconds, which this is definitely done by bots, or it could be just a ploy that they're just, saying this and they are just pretending to release this out to the public. But in reality, these are being sold to big farms, maybe the resellers that do bulk orders. I don't know anybody, like a regular Joe, who has been able to place an order on the Bitmain website. If anyone in the community here has been able to do that, please let me know down below. Regarding a KA3 though, I just want to know. So if we just did some quick, easy math here, let's just say we have gone up about, I'm going to say 90 petahash since February 4th all the way up until February 12th. Okay, so let's just say 90 petahash, which if we times this by 1,000, okay, that's terahash. That's going to be 90,000 terahash. And so the Bitmain KA3 does 166 terahash. So if we divided this by, let's say 166, that's going to equal roughly about 542 KA3s have potentially come online the network in the past 2 weeks here. Now, that's just a rough number. I'm just speculating. Okay, I don't know exactly if that is the amount of KA3s that have come online. I'm just speculating here. But there's also the BMK3s, which have also been shipping out the past couple weeks here. So I bet the network hash rate also involves some of these as well. If not, also KD Box 2s, as Goldshell has been selling a lot of these recently. So it's probably a combination of like all the Kadena ASICs, but more so I'm going to say the Bitmain KA3 is the notorious one, which has been shipping or really announced since September, I think, of 2022. And people have been, ordering these, pre-ordering them since October. And I've been hearing throughout the woodworks now that people have been slowly getting them, but there's also people who have not gotten their shipments yet from a bunch of resellers out there that have gotten pre-orders for the KA3 back in October here, okay? Maybe even September and, November, I'm sure. And so I'm expecting that the network hash rate for Kadena is going to go up even more. So how much more? I'm not quite sure. Right now, if we're going to hover around 300 petahash, if we were to go up another 100 petahash, so that'd be what, 100,000 terahash divided by 166. That would be another 602 KA3s to come online the network to be that 400 petahash on Kadena Network. What's not to say Bitmain is able to manufacture another 600 of these units. That is probably going to happen because they're still having sales for these ASICs, right? Even on Twitter just recently, they had a spot sale of these. So it really sucks for those that have the other, less efficient ASIC miners for Kadena ASIC mining, such as the KD Lights, the KD Box 2s, even the BMK3s for anyone that has the BM. I myself have a BMK3. Of course, I didn't turn this off because it's still, it's okay. But I mean, if Kadena went up another, I'm going to say 100 petahash, this BMK3 would not be profitable anymore at the current price, okay, at the current price of Kadena. And just to show you here, you can see my Kadena earnings have slowly been dropping down. Of course, I just unplugged my KD Lite and KD Box Pro. I think I have my other one on as well. Okay, so yeah, there's still my Ivy Lang BMK3 on. I'll probably have to turn off this KD Lite pretty soon. But just to show you how bad it's getting over the past 2 weeks here, I was normally getting 10, 11 Kadena, every payout, every 12 hours. And now it's slowly coming down from 9 to 8 to 7 Kadena every 12 hours. So yeah, it's getting worse and worse. And at this point in time, my Kadena ASICs that I just turned off are now bricks. Now, of course, if Kadena decided to have some price appreciation, enough to handle all of the Kadena ASICs out there to be relatively profitable, like let's say for KD Lite, which, I'm currently making, let's see, at 11 cents actually, that's my current cost per kilowatt hour, I am losing 68 cents a day. My KD Box Pro is losing 16 cents a day. The KD Box 2 is losing 19 cents a day. And look at this, there's $40,000 KD Max a while ago, like a year ago. This is now negative $1.83, which hopefully a lot of you guys can understand, right? This takes about 3350 watts, right? 3,350 watts versus the KA3, which is about 31 to 3,200 watts. But the KA3 does 4 times more hash rate than the KD Max, okay? So you guys can understand the efficiency there. That is why this KD Max and a lot of these other Goldshell ASICs currently are not profitable at this point in time. So there's the doom and gloom regarding the current state of Kadena mining. Now, I'm going to refer something to a while back, a couple of years ago, and some of you guys may not agree to this. It really depends. Nobody knows regarding Kadena if it's going to go up in price again. Okay, that's just, not financial advice. Nobody knows, honestly. But just looking at past history of other ASIC miners out there, other proof of work projects that are ASIC mineable, such as, Litecoin, for instance. You guys remember, like L3 pluses used to be what, $50 before. I did a video 3 years ago after the Litecoin halving that these were essentially breaking even, if not losing money, dependent on your electrical costs of these L3 pluses that were $53. But then, of course, lo and behold, Bitcoin and a lot of other proof of work projects such as Litecoin did go back up again during the bull run. So what's not to say that Kadena could have the same fate. Obviously, I'm not going to say now. It may be not in this year. Who knows? Maybe in the next Bitcoin bull run, which maybe a year or two after the Bitcoin halving, which is coming up soon, right? So if we're following like maybe the 4 to 5 year Bitcoin cycles, that when Bitcoin starts to go back up, then Kadena could go back up to its new all-time high, or maybe just higher than what it is now, obviously, compared to what it was before during the bull run of 2021. If a lot of you guys remember during this time that Kadena went up from like what, I don't know, 80 cents to $23 to $25, right? So for those that are thinking that their ASICs right now are just bricks, and honestly, that's the first thing I thought of. We can't forget that potentially, dependent on how many of these KA3s are going to come online the network, right? How much more hash rate is going to come online, and then dependent on the price of Kadena, that these other ASICs that we have, KD Lights, KD Box Pros, KD Box 2s, could one day be profitable again, just like it happened with the L3 Pluses when these went from $50 to $2,000 to $3,000 that I've seen on eBay at one point during the bull run. So I'm just saying that could be a theoretical scenario that could happen. Obviously, that is a big risk. But hey, the people that risked on buying a bunch of these L3 Pluses and sold them during the bull runs obviously made out. I'm not saying that's going to happen with Kadena ASIC miners. I mean, it could. Who knows, right? Nobody knows. But I'm just saying that is a theoretical scenario that could happen with these other ASIC miners that we currently have right now. And I mean, that's going to go along with the KA3 as well. This is, you know, the most efficient ASIC miner for mining Kadena currently. We're not sure if there's a new one coming out yet, maybe in the next 6 months, next year. Nobody knows. But if Kadena decides to go up 5, 10, you know, back up to its previous all-time high, we will then see some profitability come back for a lot of these Kadena ASIC miners and then be like, hey, I can sell my KD Lite for like 4K, 5K again, you know? That's what these things used to cost like a year ago, because Kadena ASIC mining during the, end last year, 2022, Kadena was still $9, $10. And a lot of those ASIC miners were selling in the thousands, in the 5 digits. Extremely expensive. And here we are today. The market conditions, I mean, everything is down, right? It makes sense with Bitcoin going down that we have a lot of other proof of work projects going down in price, not just Kadena, but Litecoin, I mean, Nervos Network, a lot of other ASIC mineable proof of work projects. Coin prices have come down. Like we've been here before, but then the strategy there is to wait for its new all-time high. If you can stomach it, if you can financially, are capable of holding out that long, nobody knows if that's going to come back again. If not, maybe a couple years in the next Bitcoin bull run. So I've talked about the doom and gloom. I've also talked about the positive outlook regarding these ASIC miners potentially. Which side do you guys take? Which side do you believe is going to happen? I mean, the same strategy that we've talked about when we're buying hardware like this, people say, why don't you just buy the coin instead? I mean, you can do that, but people also play the hardware game, because hardware can go back up in price again. If profitability comes back, then you could sell these miners for much more than what you bought them for, I would say, versus now, because the KD Lights or KD Box 2s are what, like $200, $300 or something. And I wonder if in the next bit here, as more of these KA3s come online, then the prices of these KD Box 2s or KD Lights or any of these other Kadena ASIC miners theoretically drop in price a lot more. If not, maybe they're not making them. Actually, I believe they're not making these models anymore because of the KA3. That kind of makes sense, because they're already taking over the network, as we can see here right now. As over the next, I'm going to say, couple months to weeks at least, that these are now being shipped out to people. And I personally know somebody that has 50 of these KA3s shipped to them recently, but they haven't turned them on yet because they're still building out their infrastructure. So I know that he's not alone, and there's going to be thousands upon thousands more of these KA3s probably going to be coming online and just taking over the Kadena network. Ultimately, Kadena is a project a lot of people believe in. It's got a lot going for it. I would say one of the big things is also their TPS, the transactions per second. They do have a layer 2 solution, I believe, that can do 480,000 TPS, which I believe, MasterCard is 5,000 and Visa is like 2,000 or something. So if Kadena can, actually do this, and there's DeFi, NFT payments, all that kind of stuff, which personally, I'm not into DeFi or NFT, but the project itself fundamentally are working towards, a use case, and also interoperability, like cross transfers to other projects as well, which is pretty awesome. So depends how you look at it, guys. For those that are into Kadena and are investing in ASIC miners, either have to really believe that the project is going to ultimately go back up to new all-time highs, or if not, just higher numbers than what it is now, then your ASIC miners that you have now may not be bricks. But at the current point in time, and the information that we know with a lot of these KA3s now being shipped out, being turned on, all that good stuff, it's looking pretty dire. But time will tell. We'll see how the market will do overall, along with Bitcoin, as it kind of brings up everything else. So time will tell. All right, I'll see you all in the next one. Let me know your thoughts. Appreciate you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good one. Peace out.